Jiangnan, the land of water and mist. The land of Jiangnan was a place of endless rivers, bamboo groves, and mist that lingered even in summer. White egrets skimmed across still waters, and lotus blossoms covered entire ponds, swaying gently with the breeze. It was here that Li Wen, a young scholar of humble birth, lived. Though poor, he carried himself with quiet dignity. His teachers admired his poetry, but he was mocked by wealthier students for dreaming of beauty instead of chasing official rank. Yet Li Wen did not envy them. He preferred to wander riverbanks, composing verses for drifting clouds and fallen petals. One warm summer evening, after the lanterns of the city dimmed, Li Wen wandered past the outskirts. The air smelled of jasmine, and the moon, round and pale, hung like a painted jewel. Drawn by the soft glimmer of a hidden pond, he found himself standing before a sea of lotus blossoms. And there, among the flowers, a voice sang. "2. The maiden in white. Her song was fragile, as though the night itself listened." Curious, Li Wen stepped closer. A maiden stood upon the water, also it seemed. She wore white robes that fluttered like mist, her black hair tumbling down her back. The lotus blossoms bent toward her, as if in reverence. Li Wen's breath caught. He stammered, yet the words spilled like a poem. "Li Wen, forgive me, lady. But are you real, or am I dreaming beneath the moon?" The maiden smiled faintly. "Maiden, neither dream nor spirit. My name is Leon. This pond is my home." From that night, Li Wen returned often. He read her poetry beneath the moon, and she listened, her laughter like ripples across water. She spoke little of herself, but in her silence was sorrow. Still, love grew between them like lotus roots, hidden, but unbreakable. 3. Secrets beneath the water. One night, when the moon was only a thin crescent, Li Wen found Leon weeping among the blossoms. He knelt beside her. "Li Wen, tell me your sorrow. If I can ease it, I will." Leon trembling. "You cannot. My truth is a chain I cannot break." At last, she told him. Years ago, she had been the daughter of a fisherman. On her wedding day, as the bridal boat crossed the river, a storm rose. Waves overturned it, dragging her beneath. She never reached the shore. The river spirit, jealous of her beauty, bound her soul to the lotus pond, neither living nor dead. Leon tears shining. By day, I am but mist. By night, the blossoms give me form. I can never leave these waters. My groom waited on the shore, but I never came. Li Wen's heart ached, yet instead of despair, he felt resolve. "Li Wen, if you are bound, then I will bind myself to you. If your soul lingers here, then so shall mine. What is the worth of life, if love cannot cross such waters?" She looked at him in wonder, torn between joy and dread. The festival of the painted moon. As autumn came, the city prepared for the festival of the painted moon. Couples painted lanterns with verses, and set them adrift upon rivers, praying for eternal love. Li Wen, with trembling hands, painted his. "Though rivers part and mountains fall, my heart shall find you, beyond them all." On the night of the festival, he led Leon to the shore. She, too, carried a lantern, though the flame inside quivered like her heart. Together they set their lanterns upon the water. The current carried them side by side, glowing as twin stars, but suddenly, the river stirred. The lanterns rocked violently, waves rose, a mist thickened into a looming form. A voice thundered, deep and cruel. "River spirit, mortal love cannot bind what is mine." Return the maiden, or both shall drown. Via the river's wrath, the water surged, pulling Emmy Ilion back toward the pond. She screamed, clutching Li Wen's hand. Emmy Ilion, let me go. If you hold on, you will perish too. Li Wen desperate. If love yields to fear, it is no love at all. The spirit's fury grew. Waves lashed the banks, trees bent, and villagers fled in terror. Yet Li Wen did not release her. The river swallowed them both. Vi. The Lotus of Dawn. At dawn, the storm ceased. Villagers gathered at the pond in awe. In its center, where no lotus had ever bloomed, rose a single flower, vast, pale, glowing softly. Its petals spread wide, and within its heart shimmered two faint figures, hand in hand. From that day, the pond was named the Lover's Lotus Pond. It is said that each year, on the Painted Moon Festival, lovers see two shadows walking the shore, lanterns floating beside them. Those who set their lanterns upon the water whisper the same prayer: let our love be as Li Wen and Emmy Ilion's, strong enough to bloom beyond death. In the misty mountains of Sichuan, where pine trees cling to cliffs and rivers carve deep valleys, there is a stone bridge no one dares to cross after sunset. Locals call it the Whispering Bridge. It is said that long ago, during floods, hundreds of villagers drowned in the black waters beneath. Since then, their voices linger, forever bound to the current. At night, travelers hear whispers rising with the mist, whispers calling their names, pleading, threatening, promising, most avoid the bridge. But one autumn evening, a wandering scholar named Chenyu reached it at twilight, his lantern barely holding back the dark. The journey begins. The rain had stopped only hours before. Droplets still clung to leaves, falling in steady rhythms. The sky was overcast, the moon thin and pale. Chenyu's sandals squelched on the wet earth as he approached the bridge. He had studied in Hangzhou 4 years, and was returning home to visit his aging parents. His path through the mountains was long, but he had never believed in ghost stories. Still, as he looked at the archstones stretching over the roaring river, unease crept over him. The mist seemed unnaturally thick, rising like breath from unseen mouths. He adjusted his cloak, tightened his grip on the lantern, and whispered to himself, Chenyu quietly, a bridge is but a bridge. Stone cannot harm me. First steps. The first step echoed loudly. Too loudly, the sound bounced back, as though the bridge itself remembered his footfall. At first, only silence surrounded him, broken by the rushing water below. But after a dozen steps, faint whispers began, soft, like sighs carried on the wind. Whisper distant, come closer. Whisper another, stay with us. Chenyu froze, his knuckles whitening on the lantern's handle. He turned back. The shore behind him was already swallowed by mist. The way forward was the same. He forced himself to continue. The name, as he walked, the whispers grew sharper, more focused. Words began to form. Whisper hissing, Chenyu. Whisper chorus, Chenyu, Chenyu. He stopped dead. His heart thudded in his chest. Chenyu whispering, how? How do they know my name? His lantern flickered violently, shadows stretching across the stones. The whispers overlapped, some pleading, some mocking, some angry. The woman appears. Midway across, he saw her. A woman in flowing white stood in the mist, her hair long and tangled, her robes trailing like water. She did not move, but the air around her pulsed with cold. Chenyu raising lantern. Who goes there? Woman soft, almost tender, someone who waits. Someone who remembers. She stepped forward without sound. Her bare feet left no trace on the wet stones. Her face came into view, pale as snow, lips blue, eyes black pools with no light within. Woman calmly, "You are far from home, Chenyu. Why not stay? The river is deep, and the water is cold. It will hold you, as it holds me." Her story. She lifted her hand, and the mist swirled into shapes, a wedding procession, lanterns glowing, drums beating. Then, suddenly, rain, shouts, a rushing current. Figures tumbled into the dark water, screaming. Woman softly, "On my wedding night, the river took me. My groom never returned. Since then, I wander here. I call, I wait, for company." Her eyes softened for a moment, filled with grief, but beneath that sorrow, hunger lingered. The bargain. She drew closer, her voice like silk. "Woman, give me your name, and I will let you pass. Without it, you are mine already." The whisper swelled into a chant, endless. "Chenyu, Chenyu." He staggered back. His master's words returned to him. "A name is more than a sound. It is the root of your soul. Guard it as you guard your life." Chenyu defiant, "I will not give you my name." Woman smiling faintly, "Then the river will take it for me." The assault. The mist thickened. Faces emerged, men, women, children, their mouths open in eternal cries. Hands of water reached from the stones, clutching at Chenyu's legs. The lantern went out with a hiss. Darkness swallowed him. The woman's voice grew deeper, distorted, echoing from every direction. Woman echoing, "No one crosses without a price." The bridge shook beneath his feet. His knees buckled as the cold hands tightened. The scholar's answer. With trembling fingers, Chenyu fumbled for his scroll case. He pulled out his brush, inkstone, and paper. By touch alone, he painted a single character in broad, strong strokes, Zen, truth. As the brush left the paper, the character glowed with golden light. He held it aloft. The mist recoiled, shrieking. The hands of water dissolved into spray. The woman screamed. A sound not of pain, but of fury, of hunger denied. Her face flickered between beauty and corpse, her form unraveling into torn strands of mist. Woman screaming, "You cannot escape forever. Every soul belongs to the river." Summoning every ounce of strength, Chenyu ran. His breath tore at his lungs, his sandals slapped against the stone. The whispers clawed at his ears, trying to drown his thoughts, but he kept his eyes fixed on the faint outline of the far shore. At last, he stumbled onto solid ground. The moment his foot touched earth, silence fell. The mist thinned, the river roared as it always had, and the bridge stood empty. When he turned back, the whispering bridge looked like any other ancient crossing, quiet, harmless, waiting. The legend. Chenyu never spoke of that night to his family. But for the rest of his life, he carried the scroll with the single glowing word. Some say the character slowly faded until nothing remained but white paper. Others whisper that on stormy nights, when he lit a candle, the word would shine again, a reminder of the price he refused to pay. To this day, villagers warn, do not cross the whispering bridge at night. If you hear your name in the mist, do not answer, for the river remembers, and it waits.